it's safe to say you went through imposter syndrome, not
Oh,
considering yourself a
yes.
musician, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Why wouldn't you consider yourself a musician at that point in time when you were making these songs?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I guess kind of when I had set it aside a few years prior, um, it can be a really discouraging thing. And you kind of wonder, for me, music had always been a therapeutic tool for me, first and foremost. And the more that I engaged with it in a public sense, I started to lose the therapeutic aspect. And in fact, it started to become a little bit of the opposite. I needed a new form of therapy to relieve the stress that I was coming from the musical world. So I just had to step away because it to be I found being a professional musician to be one of the least musical activities I had ever engaged in. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No.
It's just crazy how being an independent musician requires so many things and very few of them are playing music. You almost get farther away from playing music because it takes so much time and energy to be focused on um, organizing a band and keeping them rehearsed and organizing tours and recordings and all of the stuff that goes into it. And I just felt like, wow, I'm actually getting farther from like the spiritual medicinal qualities of the music that I initially got involved for, because it's becoming so much about all these other things. And I just that the music industry is not a very soul-filling place as it had stood. So I was seeking out other ways of engaging with art and creativity that were not so binary. Creator versus audience, performer versus audience member. For example, I wanted to be a part of movements where everybody felt called to make more communal forms of art. So the conscious dance community and all of the little movements that are kind of branches of it, including the musical movements that are branches of it, was that for me. And so that felt like a complete divergence. That felt like a return to art making solely for the purpose of healing. That's what it was for me as a kid growing up. That's what it always meant. So once I returned to that, it was really interesting through this album to bring that full circle and use all of the healing modalities that I had learned through the conscious dance practice, use that in the album writing process. And I really hope that that's something that can be felt. The fact that every single word on that album is true. It's coming from the truest pit of my soul. And it's specifically referencing exactly what I've been learning and trying to overcome and struggling with and questioning. So this album is my thesis statement of what I've been working on for the last 7 years.